so you can use them in time to live a happy, regret-free life. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. Resentment is like drinking poison. Life is not a matter of holding the forehand well. Be careful who you call your friends. I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Decision-making, like coffee, needs a cooling process. People are great at keeping secrets they don't know. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Don't judge each day by the harvest you Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Great results can be achieved with small forces. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Everyone falls down. Getting back up is how you learn how to walk. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Spend your money on the things money can buy. Spend your time on the things money can't buy. A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends. No flies fly to a boiling pot. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and its life will not get any shorter. Happiness doesn't diminish when you share it. People never lie so much as before an election, during a war, or after a hunt. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost anyhow. Circumstances make man, not man's circumstances. There are 2 wolves fighting inside all of us. The first one is evil. The second one is good. Which wolf will win? The one you feed. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Write your sad times in the sand. Write your good times in stone. Leave nothing for tomorrow, which can be done today. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. A friend to all is a friend to none. Better a broken promise than none at all. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane, the pessimist, the parachute. A woman's guess is much more accurate than a man's certainty. Ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. A bad friend is like a shadow. On a sunny day, run. You won't run away. On a cloudy day, look for it. You won't find it. Understanding a question is half an answer. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Simplicity is the result of maturity. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It always seems impossible until it's done. How many things would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? To get married means to have your rights and double your responsibilities. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. The life of the dead is set in the memory of the living. Procrastination is the thief of time. Collar it. A leader is a dealer in hope. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. A friendship founded on business is better than a business founded on a friendship. As a child, I prayed to God for a bicycle. Then I realized that God works differently. I stole my bike and prayed for forgiveness. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Whatever advice you give, be brief. When fate hands you lemons, make lemonade. Judge a man by his questions, rather than by his answers. Your ambition is handicapped by laziness. The noblest work of God, man. Who found it out? Man. Be correct with everyone, sociable with many, close to the elect, friend to the few. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries, and you rejoice. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Those who are hardest to love need it the most. If you can dream it, you can do it. Do not look for approval, except for the consciousness of doing your best. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove doubt. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Do what you can with what you have. There you are. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Experience is the teacher. One looking into a puddle sees dirt in it. The other, stars reflected in it. A happy marriage is a long conversation which always seems too short. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. There is nothing impossible to him who will try. Time passes slowly when you follow it. It senses being followed. Thinking that someone else can make you happy or unhappy is ridiculous. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Sometimes the worst are our own fears. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. If your hate could be turned into the whole world, do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. To put everything in balance is good. To put everything in harmony is better. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Goal without a plan is just a wish. The future comes slowly, the present flies, and the past. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. Time is money. If you wish to forget anything on the spot, make a note that this thing is to be remembered. Everyone, at some time or another, sits down to a banquet of consequences. He suffers more than necessary. Who suffers before it is. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Fear of death increases in exact proportion to increase in wealth. Where violated trust once loses it forever. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. Why only your friend. Never close your lips to those whom you have already opened your heart to. You can overcome that habit only today, not tomorrow. Two people follow. First man, that man gets the shell. Better to make approximately correct decision than to make a precise mistake. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. Begin, be bold, and venture to be wise. Stupid is the man who always remains the same. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. It becomes lonely. Smart people learn from everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. To keep your balance, you, you must keep moving. And you're halfway there. What we do now, if you can't do great things, want to believe. You can hide memories, but you can't erase the history that produced them. Something to do. A true woman loves a man because she knows his weakness. is generation. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Not say a little in many words, a great deal in a few. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. The secret of G never was anything great achieved without date. The most exquisite pleasure is giving pleasure to others. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist. I would rather be a swineherd, understood by the swine, than a poet misunderstood by men. It is nothing to die. It is fragile not to live. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. What we learn from history is that no one learns from history. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. Who dares nothing needs hope for nothing. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Believe nothing you hear, and only one half that you see. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. If a man knows not to tired. Learning to let go should be learned from learning to get. Real men despise battle, but will never run from it. In an age when unnecessary things are only has a why to live for. Arrows anyhow. Not in power until it is applied. I want me to make men happy. Just one more dollar. To be angry is to take revenge on oneself for the mistakes of others. Any man can make mistakes. Then curse the darkness. He who is satisfied with his lot is rich. Do more. The race is won by the horse that outstrips its rivals by a head. If each of us sleeps right under our feet, the whole world will be clean. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Wisdom is not wisdom when it is derived from books alone. Explained joke is no longer a joke. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Do not shake the green apple tree. When the apple is ripe, it will fall down by itself. It does not require many words to speak the truth. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. Thinking a mistake. Never try anything new. If you're going through hell, keep going. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. Do every act as though it were the very last act of your life. The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. A profession should initially be an act of love and not a marriage of convenience. Women make even men more sophisticated. Above all things, never be afraid. The enemy who forces you to retreat is himself afraid of you at that very moment. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few ones. Fortune accompanies the brave. Genius is a mind that knows its limits. Drop by drop is the water pot filled. Likewise, the wise man, gathering it little by little, fills himself with good. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. Do not chase after happiness. It is always in you. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Experience is not what happens to a man. It is what a man does with what happens to him. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Fastest. It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. Trying to forget someone means the hard work of the future pushing buttons. The art of living well and the art of dying well. Live your exclamation rather than an explanation. Nothing makes a man so adventurous as an empty pocket. The future depends on what you do today. The time for action is now. It's never too late to do something. Only he who controls himself is free. If you want the present to be different from the past, study the past. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Well done is better than well said. A friend is a gift you give yourself. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. He who does not like loneliness does not like freedom. Anything you can settle with money is cheap. You don't have to burn books to destroy a culture. Just get people to stop reading them. One charm of the past is that it is develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. The lie flies, and the truth limps after it. In times of war, the law falls silent. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. No man becomes rich unless he enriches others.